Hey everybody, it's Aaronator here. We got our NHL 16, well, no, NHL 2016-17 NHL season predictions on NHL 17. Those are, you're going to see the same. I edited all the rosters. No edit, like not editing player overalls, but all the rosters. So Datsuk's not in Arizona. Dylan Strome 76 overall. Michael Kempney defenseman 60 overall on Chicago. Tons of those guys. Don't worry, all those guys, all the lines are edited. I basically went on NHL.com and I did all of them. I actually just realized in my head right now, there's one player that isn't on his proper team. That's because although Lindholm isn't signed either, he's on Anaheim. He was actually on the roster on NHL.com. On Winnipeg, it has Trouba not in the roster. So, I mean, I'm sorry for the sim, but don't worry, the sim has nothing to do with it. It's just a test. You'll see the playoffs as well, even just for stuff. I'm only going to talk about the season, but first, I'm going to talk about the Canucks entirely as a team and why I think they're underrated and why people are underrating them so much and why I think they will be a playoff team this year. And then I'll talk about every other team in the season as the season sim goes on. So, first of all, let's look at the team. The Sedins and Eriksson, I'm not going to edit lines. I'm just doing best lines. I did best lines for every team before this. So, for example, let's go to Arizona. Let's see. So, Dylan Strome, this is best lines. They decided to put a 76 overall center instead of Ryan White. And then Lawson Krauts is there. And then scratched. Dauphine, don't worry. Like, all these guys are here. I promise you. I promise. They're all there. Winnipeg, for example. Laine. Defenseman, you have those guys. No Trouba. On defense here, you have Lindholm. I just thought of it. It is sort of a bit unfair that I put Lindholm there. I'm sorry, but you know what? I'm not gonna. I just want to make the video and talk about the Canucks mainly, and then we'll get into every other team. So Vancouver, why I think they're underrated. Okay, first of all, their offense. You say that the Sedins and Eriksson, some people say that they won't be very good, but they said that, and some people said that they're the only offense that they're going to have. I perfectly think Sutter's capable of 20 goals. I perfectly think Horvat's capable of 20 goals. I perfectly think Barchi's capable of 20 goals. I perfectly think Dorsett's perfectly able to get 20 goals. Wait, what? So basically what I'm talking about is technically anybody can get 20 goals if they play with the Sedins, right? Right? No, well, I mean, anybody can have a breakout year. Anybody. Doesn't matter. Except maybe John Scott. Maybe him, but I don't know. He can make an all-star team, but not 20 goals. Not 20 goals. That's not going to happen. So basically, I just the Sedins and Eriksson, I think they'll be stellar. They'll get 60 points each. I think maybe Henrik Steen gets a bit less. I think Eriksson, Daniel Steen are perfectly capable of 20 goal seasons with 60 points. Sutter, I predict he will probably have around 20. Well, maybe. I think he's going to have like 18 goals, 15-ish assists. I think he's capable around 40 points. Horvat, same with 40 points, maybe a bit more assists than goals. He'll probably be playing with Barchi. Barchi will have a stellar amount of goals, I guess. Yeah, I mean, 15 is possible. I think depends where he plays. He'll probably get power play time, probably get, I guess, just as much time as Horvat. We really don't have a bona fide second line. It's just, this is basically the lines. Wait. I mean, that guy and then Granlund. That's basically our lines. We don't have, these are just 2 second/third lines, okay? That's just what it is. Dorsett is a great depth player. I don't see, like, we have, the thing is, although these guys aren't rated that high, we have great depth. We have young depth as well. So I don't see why a team, like, we can't beat a team like Anaheim because look at their depth just compared to ours. I mean, I'm sure Wagner is not a 74 overall. He could be around 80. I mean, everybody's depth can step up. Everybody's players can step up. I think our offense is capable of getting enough offense. We have the depth that some teams don't. I think I like Dorsett, Granlund, Virtanen, Hansen, Barchi, Burrows, even Skilly. Better than a team like Chicago where, like, you look at their team, they've lost so much. Hartman, Rasmussen, Hinostra. Have you ever heard of these guys? Chicago fans, you probably have. Like, some of these guys are young and they could provide some offense, but because they're young, they are also less experienced. I think we have some of those guys, but we're going to be playing them higher in the lineup. I don't know. I mean, anybody's depth can come through, and I think depth is going to be a big thing. I was talking with my dad, And he was saying that when Boston won the cup in 2011 against the Canucks, what was the main thing they had aside from like stellar lines all throughout? That was it. Stellar lines all throughout. They had a fourth line. I can't remember who was on that fourth line. Like Chris Kelly was very good at that time. They had defensive. If you have a strong fourth line, like Chicago won those cups more with depth. And I'm not saying the Canucks are going to win because they have depth more than any other teams. They're going to destroy the league. But I'm saying that we can be a playoff team, and I think we can be competitive, just like the organization wants to be. Offense may not be our strongest point, but I think we're fully capable of providing enough offense to make the playoffs. Defense: Edler, Tanev, Hutton, Goodbranson, Spiza, Biega. Could be Larson, but I just want to ask you. I was saying like Canucks offense is going to rank 30th in the league, and it's going to rank worse and their defense is going to rank worse. Defense for Boston. I'm sure Char's not 89. Krug is awesome. You're telling me that Hutton, Goodbranson, and Larson, these guys, aren't better than these guys? Like, these are solidified good defensive defensemen. Like, but really? Krug provides offense. Char, maybe he is still playing like an 89. He was pretty solid at the World Cup of Hockey. There's younger defensive teams. Carolina, I also really like their defense, but, I mean, even their offense, they have some good pieces like Teravainen, Rask, and Skinner, and Lindholm, and then Falk. I just don't see why everything that I look at, every magazine article, it says the Canucks are going to rank lowest in the league in every category and be the worst. Like, I understand that's completely possible, but we're not that bad of a team if you look at us. So, I mean, that's just what I just want to see. Like, and then defensively, we have one of the best defensive defensemen in the league. Plus, Goodbranson, I don't think he's 86 overall, but he's going to be really good. Hutton provides so much offense. He's a good two-way guy. He is actually you look at him play, the goal he scored against Carolina, although, like, it was a screen and stuff like that, it was a good shot on net. This guy, he's not going to be a goal-scoring defenseman. Last year, he had, like, one goal, I think, actually. But, like, this team, I like our defense. I like everything about us. The goaltending, everybody's saying that we have bad goalies. I don't think they're this rated. I think they're both 84s, maybe. This could be right, 84, 83. But I think if Miller's healthy, he can be a solid goalie and win us enough games. Markstrom, he's young. He's just getting into his prime there. I think with his size and his overall ability and his skill at playing goaltender, he's a good goalie. Like, I think that we have so many things that could fall apart and could be the big reasons of why we don't make the playoffs, and also maybe even be worse in the league. But I think that, like, if lots of things click together, there's no reason we can't, especially with the way our division is. There's a lot of teams losing depth, cap issues, because of cap issues. And I think that right now we are a team that isn't having too many problems like that. We're a competitive team, and I don't think people are maybe mistaking us. Like, even defensively, compare us with a team like Calgary. They have some great offensive defensemen. I like their defense. Aside from Hamilton, Brody, Giordano, Wideman, I mean, Hamilton's not an 88. I'm going to tell you that. You actually see him play. He doesn't look like an 88. Defense, I mean, and then Edmonton, you're telling, like, they've been wanting to get rid of, so with Larson being added and Chris Russell being added, this team's defense is better than the Canucks. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's the case. So Vancouver's team, I think, is going to be a playoff team. I think they definitely could miss the playoffs. I hope they're going to make the playoffs, and I think they can make the playoffs. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say, I take back what I said about I think they will. I think they can. That's the big difference. And I don't think, and once again, I think they could end up near bottom of the league. And then if that happens, then everybody who predicts they are going to be at bottom of the league, good for you. You were right. But if they're not, then, I mean, you can't really lower our expectations that much unless we literally lose every game in the season. We were third worst last year. I don't see us being that much worse this year at all. Like, I think there's nowhere to go but up. So I'm going to quit talking about the Canucks. I want to get this sim and make this video a bit shorter. I'm going to talk more about other teams quickly as the season is going on, including divisional teams and then Eastern Conference teams. So let me, and injuries are on, so I think it'll be at like 50% or for whatever. So I'm just going to do best lines whenever I see that. Hopefully You're joking. Carey Price is injured. Okay. 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 Oh, no, Reed Boucher. I'm going to turn down the injuries. Can I turn down the injuries? Let's turn down the injuries. Injuries already happened, so there you go. We have injuries happening. Settings. Gameplay sliders. Let me pull up the NHL.com site so then I can actually talk to you guys a bit easier about that. Let's go and make this 10. Sorry for the teams that lost Carey Price and all that. I mean, maybe that could happen still. But, yeah. So let's go. Is there a sim to the end of the season? No, there isn't. And I'm going to do best lines so then that way I can see it visually. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. But, so first of all, let's talk about divisional teams. Let's go sort of alphabetical, I guess. Anaheim. I don't think they're going to be, all these teams could make playoffs. I'm going to say right now, oh my God. You know what? Whatever. Just best lines, everything. Let me just turn off. Excuse me. No one cares about Zach Delpy. Please and thank you. I'm setting the... Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Okay, guys. I just cut out a bunch of stuff. I started simming, and I just getting all these things about injuries, so I decided I'm just going to cut it all out. I thought I turned that down, but apparently I didn't, so... not gameplay sliders. Let's go advance. We're going to turn off injuries completely. So, injuries were turned on... Or just no, wait. No, sorry. Take that back. I started with injuries on, and I'm gonna keep them on. I'm gonna go edit lines. Yes, it's gonna edit the lines all for me. Okay, because I really want to see injuries. I hope there are injuries, but let's see what the league the whole league decides to give us. So Vancouver were 2-0 to start the season, and so, what do you guys think of, the Pacific Division? I think, for what Vancouver has to work with, a lot of the teams are going to be competitive. I think Arizona even will be competitive for the first bid, just like they were last year. But what is actually going to happen with teams like Anaheim and LA? I see San Jose is going to take away the division title, I think, this year. LA is going to be... I think LA can make playoffs, and they will make playoffs. I'm going to say Vancouver's the third divisional spot team because I think they have enough depth, and I think their team is capable of beating these teams. Anaheim's depth drastically changed, and they are struggling a lot. So, is that... I don't think that... I think that could help them miss the playoffs, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Especially if Lindholm doesn't get signed straight away, they're going to be... I think they're already losing a couple games, so not the greatest. Calgary and Edmonton, I think, are both capable of making the playoffs once again, but I just don't think they have... I think Vancouver has just as much of a team as those guys. I think goaltending is a big issue. Elliott hasn't looked great in his first starts with Calgary. Edmonton, Talbot, even if he is playing some of those games, and I think he wins just 60% of them maybe. Gustafsson... He's not gonna, or Brassard, whoever. I think I know it's Gustafsson. I just know he got injured for a bit, I think, or he is injured, and Brassard might come in. But either way, I just don't think goaltending is. I think goaltending is a big factor. I think I like our defensive style more, and I think there's no reason why we can't beat these teams in offense. So you know what? If I'm insulting your teams like Edmonton and Calgary in the comments, please talk to. I want to have a discussion with you guys. I just don't want to have a super long video regarding all this. So hopefully you guys understand. I'm really behind the Canucks and their team. I perfectly think that they can miss playoffs, and I think I think Arizona can make playoffs if they really wanted to. Louis Domingue becomes amazing. Anything can happen, right? So let's go on to Central Division now. I didn't talk enormously about Pacific Division, but let's get into Central. So Central, there's so many. It's so competitive. Winnipeg doesn't stand a chance. Their goaltending situation, they have two young goalies, Hutchinson and Hellbuck, because Pavelec sucks and he was sent down to the minors, overpaid, not gonna. He wasn't gonna help them either way. I just don't see Winnipeg. They're not going to be at that. They're not going to be a playoff team. Chicago has a deep enough team that they will make the playoffs. Depth may not help them go far. St. Louis, there's a lot, I can see them on the screen, so it helps a lot now. St. Louis is gonna do well. Allen and Hutton, as long as injuries don't cause them. I mean, goalies' injuries are probably the worst because you really can get destroyed near the end there. And for some reason, EA just doesn't like Vancouver, and they're going to miss playoffs again and be one of the worst teams. So I don't think that's the case. I think they can, and I think they will make the playoffs. I take back what I said about taking back what I said. Chicago, I think, yeah, St. Louis, I think, and Chicago and St. Louis are going to be playoff teams. Dallas is going to be a playoff team. Their goaltending and defense isn't great. I mean, Klingberg and Ben Sagan. I think it'll make them into the playoffs. Colorado, I think, is deep enough. I know they've been having a lot of struggles lately with puck possession defensively. Yeah. So, I mean, I want to see what things. Let's talk about. This might be easier to look at. Minnesota, they could be a team that, I mean, they're in the middle of the pack. They have goaltending. They have defense. I think that's one of the big reasons that they're always a strong team. Their offense is kind of inconsistent. So guys like Niederreiter and Granlund and Coyle and Parise and Pominville, I think some of them are actually doing pretty well. I thought Coyle had like a 20-goal season a while ago, but Minnesota, you know what? I'm gonna take back. I think they can make playoffs, and I think they will make playoffs. Nashville will make the playoffs. I think they're deep enough. Rene will be able to get them to the playoffs. Through to the playoffs, but I'm not sure if he'll be able to lead them to the next round. I'm not sure if their defense is that much better. They lost Weber, and I think Rene's slowing down, so their defense might actually not be good as past years. Offensively, they have lots of guys that you're going to have to start playing like their top-line centers, like Ryan Johansson. I think he has been doing pretty steady, solid start to the season. I think he had 3 points in the first couple games, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, I think I talked about all those teams. So I'm going to say for the Western Conference, San Jose, LA, I think that's pretty right. St. Louis, Nashville, Minnesota, Chicago, Dallas, and then I think Colorado instead of Calgary or Vancouver. I think Vancouver is in the mix there, and I think Vancouver will be 8th. I'm going to say Vancouver's 8th. So, yeah. Anaheim doesn't have enough depth, so that's what we'll go with. Eastern Conference teams, Atlantic Division, Boston. I think they're going to be a playoff team. They are deep enough. They have a good system there in Boston. They know how to win. So Rask and they are a lot weaker on defense than they used to be. But I think Rask and their offense, I think they do have enough pieces. They definitely could miss the playoffs. But I'm going to say they're a playoff team. Buffalo, I think they're too young. I think they're too inexperienced. I know they added guys like Okposo and Ryan O'Reilly came a couple years back. Kulikov, Ristolainen looks awesome. Their goaltending especially is not the greatest laner. And I mean, just because you trade for defensemen like Kulikov and you add in all those guys doesn't mean your team is going to be great defensively. So obviously, you know what? I'm just going to say Buffalo. I don't think it's going to happen, especially with Jack Eichel out for the first bit and maybe even for a month or two. So I think that may be a big reason why you could miss the playoffs. Tampa Bay, I'm going to say they're a playoff team, okay? They have, unless they trade Bishop and Vasilevsky isn't ready. That's it. But no, they're a playoff team. Montreal, Carey Price, if he gets injured, then that could be a problem. But otherwise, I think it'll be fine. Ottawa, I think they want to make the playoffs, but if their defensive system, there's a difference between your defensive system, like coaching and management and actually how you play defense, and your actual defenseman on the team. You have Carlson, but you look at Boston, their system, they when they won the cup, they didn't have the best defense. I mean, Tim Thomas is a big thing, but their defensive system, they know how to win. They know the defensive. Yeah, I mean, Ottawa just didn't look great against Matthews. Obviously, maybe it's the beginning of the season and it's really early on, but your defense, I know, is a lot more capable of things. And I think Ottawa is capable of becoming a cup contender, but they're going to have to, a lot of guys are going to have to step up, including Bobby Ryan. $7 million gone to waste right there if he doesn't start scoring again. I think a lot of people are saying he could get 30 goals again, so let's hope for Ottawa. Toronto, I don't think they're a playoff team. Matthews, I'm really excited for, though. That's the end of it. Anderson could play good, but yeah. Florida, Panthers, they're going to be a playoff team, I think. I think this is wrong. Reimer and Luongo are going to be steady in that defense. I think they're overpaying a lot of guys. Demers and Yandel just because they could get them and they wanted to improve their defense a bit. With Campbell gone, I think that's a big loss. Kulikov is not going to help them either, but Pysyk, Petrovic, some younger guys, their defensive side of the game could actually crumble a bit with the way that they have it, in my opinion. But and then Barkov, though, I think Huberdeau, if once he gets back, he's injured right now, I believe, and then Yager. I mean, I think the Panthers are going to be a playoff team. There you go. The double P. Plus, with those jerseys, I think they deserve to be a playoff team anyways. Detroit, my dad's second favorite team because Vancouver originally was his favorite team, but now it's his second favorite team because Vancouver. I just said that. Detroit is not going to make playoffs. I hope they do. They'll find a way to win. But, I mean, yeah. Rangers, very similar to Detroit, older team. Lundqvist is going to have to step up for them, but otherwise, I'm going to say they're not going to make playoffs. Playoff team, not playoff team. Playoff team, not playoff team. Playoff team. Yes. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that means I can only pick 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why Pittsburgh missed the playoffs. Maybe goaltending. I mean, Pittsburgh, I think, is going to be a playoff team. Washington should be a playoff team. Rangers, I don't see it. Just because their defense, I know, is struggling with Girardi and Stahl. But we'll have to see. I think they have lots of depth on offense, so we'll have to look at that. Especially Lundqvist is going to be a big factor there. Islanders, they have 2 steady goalies. Same with Philly, so I definitely both see these teams possibly making a playoff run. They'll be in the mix. They also could miss the playoffs, but I like what they have going there. Honestly, Flyers look really well. Although they have young defense, I do think their goalies are capable of helping them out. Mason's actually really underrated, I realized. Carolina, I don't see them making the playoffs. I think they're going to be a bottom feeder team just compared to what they have to go up against. And I don't think... I mean, the goaltending in defensive situations, they could be a wild card because they have a young defense, and then just like Philadelphia, and then Lack and Ward. Ward won a Stanley Cup 10 years ago, and Lack looks like he could be a starting goalie if he starts performing consistently. But I mean, that would have a lot of things have to go right for Carolina. Columbus, they just don't seem like a seasoned team for some reason. Injuries have plagued them a bit the last couple seasons, but Bobrovsky hasn't played very well either, so I'm going to say once again with what they have to go up against, not a playoff team. New Jersey, I say is not a playoff team, although Corey Schneider makes everything possible, and Taylor Hall also helps. So that's pretty much it, guys. I made it go really long. I'm sorry about that. Let's quickly show the player stats. Points. Daniel Steen, 20 goals. Like this, Barchi, 20 goals. I see that possibly. This is very similar. Henrik Steen, definitely not 18 goals, maybe half of that. Hansen, Horvat. 56 points for Horvat on the third line. That's possible. I like it. Burrows, Skilly. I like a lot of this. The goals. We have a lot of goal scorers. So apparently even Skilly looks to be decent. I'm interested to see how he does. On defense, Larson, Tanev. I mean, we don't have very much offense on defense, but yeah. That's not what they're meant for, right? Goaltending, looks like goaltending should be a struggle for us. That's what it's saying, but I think both goalies are capable of doing a lot better, and I think if we have 2 goalies playing pretty steady, I mean, there's no reason why we can't go deep. So I will sim through the playoffs. I'll show you the playoff tree, but I'm just gonna basically show who won the Stanley Cup and then the awards. So do you guys think the Canucks are going to be a playoff team? And then please let me know in discussion down below. I would love to discuss with you guys. Do you think, what's your favorite team? Are they going to make playoffs or not? And why? And I want to know, just let me know. I'm really interested in talking about this. Maybe I'll do a live stream on it if I can. Probably with AJ and some of the guys. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do a live stream halfway through the season. Maybe in the trade deadline. Talk about trades, and then maybe even see who is or not going to make playoffs at that point in time, or we can even do it earlier. I don't know. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying that's an option. But basically, there's not much else. This should be the end of the video. Let me quickly take you to the awards and the cup winner very shortly here. I'm sorry if I skipped over your team a bit more, and I wish I could have talked about it, but I don't like making videos long, especially these kind of videos. So St. Louis Blues win the Stanley Cup. That's the prediction, apparently. I'm going to say Tampa. That's my first prediction. They just have a complete team, and I think a lot of things could go right for them this year. So that's like right now. If I have to pick a team right off the top of my head, like I think a week or two ago, someone asked me who I think it was Nathan. He asked me, who do you think is going to win the Stanley Cup this year? And I just said, like, if I have to pick a team right now, I'm just going to say Tampa. It's a solid answer. You can't go wrong. They're going to be a top 5 team, I think. St. Louis wins the Stanley Cup. President's Trophy goes to the Rangers. Lundqvist has to go steady, or pretty good there. Montreal and St. Louis. That could be interesting. I guess Price will go steady. Art Ross goes to Sagan, could see it. Hart Memorial goes to Stamkos, could see it. James Norris to Weber, could see it. Lady Bing goes to Sagan, could see it. Calder Memorial goes to Matthews, could see it. Conn Smythe goes to Jake Allen, could see it. Vezina to Quick, could see it. William Jennings to Quick, see it. Bill Masterton to Polak, I have no idea, because I think that just goes to the best defenseman on the worst team. So if in the video game, if I'm correct, that's basically all I ever see it going to. Because when I went into Team Germany, and my worst defenseman, or one of the worst teams in the league for multiple years, but they had like Dennis Seidenberg won the Bill Masterton like 50 times. It was like ridiculous. Frank Jasoki goes to Bergeron. I could see it. Ted Lindsay goes to Stamkos, and Maurice Richard goes to Stamkos. I could all see it. There you go. That's all good. That's all good. That's it. That's done. Cut. Out of here. Let's quickly see playoffs or player stats. For the league, goals, Stamkos gets 52 goals. Okay, yeah, sure. All this, yeah, sure. Rookie skaters, yeah, 60 points. I can see that for Matthews. How many points do you think Laine Matthews going to get? It's going to be really interesting. I'm excited for this year. Goalies. Any rookie goalies this year? There's really not too many rookie goalies. Well, that's it, guys. I'm sorry for making it such a long video. I hope you guys like the predictions. Please let me know down in the comments why your team should be a playoff team. Talk to me about the Canucks especially. I want to know what you think. And was I right or wrong? Or do you think they can make playoffs, and why? Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later.